There, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and today I'm going to show you how to make 3 little Easter baskets. Well, one really little and the other 2 pretty good size Easter baskets using the Timeless Tulip stamp set, which is still available. It's on the retired list, but I checked last night, you can still get this stamp set, and then the coordinating punch. Now the coordinating punch did not retire. It's not retiring. It's going to go through to the next catalog. So there you go, but let me show you the little baskets that we're gonna make. Let me start with the little one. Where is it? Here we go. It looks like this. It's just a little tiny thing. Look how cute. Now, none of these baskets today are my idea. They've been around for a long time. In fact, the first time I made this basket, and I wish I knew who to give credit, but I can't remember and I couldn't find it. I even took and stamped the little tulip and put it on there. Remember this polka dot tool that we used to have? That tells you how long ago that I made this little basket. But we're gonna make one of those. I'm gonna show you how to make one of those. And then of course you've seen this basket before. Look how cute this one is. We'll make something like that. And then last and certainly not least, we'll make a nice big basket like this one there. I can't even fit the whole thing in, oh I can in the camera. But so let's go ahead. So I like to make little treats for my bowling buddies and my mailman and stuff like that. So I think these little baskets are really cute. Let's start with that one. And I'm gonna make this one a little bit different. I've been dying to use this denim ribbon. It's kind of like $1. It's burning a hole in my pocket. So we're gonna do it a little bit different color. I'm gonna use balmy blue and old olive. And I am gonna use my Simply Scored here to score it. So this is 2 3/4 square, and of course all the measurements, if you're looking for them, you can find them on my blog, becreativewithkathy.com. After I finish and post all my videos, I'll go there and post all the pictures of all the baskets and have all the measurements there for you too. But I'm going to score this at 3/4 of an inch. So if this is 2 3/4, I'm going to just score it at 2. Now I could score it over here at 3/4, but I think it's easier if you do it on the right side rather than on the left side. So I'm going to score it at 2 inches on all 4 sides. These are really quick, simple, well, especially the way I make them is simple baskets that you could make a bunch of them so that you can hand them out, like I said, to all your peeps. But we'll just fold on those score lines real quick. And now this is the base of our basket, and no one's even going to see this by the time we're done, so I'm not going to be worried about making it fancy or anything. We just need to make it work. So on opposite sides, I'm going to cut up on that score line to the other score line. And I'm sure if you've seen baskets, you've seen this kind of stuff done 100 times. So now I have something that looks like that, right? And then we're going to just take a little bit of liquid glue. And I have to warn you, if you watch my videos, you know that I've been saying, yeah, my liquid old bottle because the rust. But pretty soon, this one won't be quite new. It won't come out so fast anymore. It is a lot more convenient because I don't have to shake it a bunch of times. Now you can see the tops of my box. Well, maybe you can't see on the video, but it's not even perfect, and I don't even care. It's got some stuff showing where it shouldn't be showing, but like I said, all of that's going to be covered up. I just need a base for my little box here, so there we go. And I am trying to get like the corner square and stuff like that, so at least it looks like a, boy, I really messed up on my scoring on this one, or maybe I cut it crooked. I don't know. You can see normally stuff like that would drive me nuts, but for this one, not so much. Okay, then with that balmy blue scrap, I'm going to just take my tulip punch. Now when you're punching out the tulip, you need to start at the left and work your way right, and that way the leaf doesn't waste paper. And when I say the leaf, I mean this part of the punch. So I'm going to just punch out real quick 4 of those little tulips. I think, nope, maybe I can't fit them all across here. Oh, so close. I should have got them closer together, but that's okay. We'll just go over here. Thank goodness I have a big scrap of paper here. And we have number 4. Let's figure out our little pieces here and get rid of the trash. Okay, Now I'm going to just take here and I'm going to kind of put a triangle. I'm going to start wider at the top and then just kind of go down like that, making sure that I miss the corners, because then I'm going to take my little tulips here and just place them along the bottom there, making sure that it doesn't go off the bottom edge. We don't want it to, we want it to be able to sit. Okay, let's keep going. And if you do get glue where you don't want it, like I just did, shame on me, but like I said, new glue bottle, I'm so not used to that less glue must last me forever. But anyway, you can cover it with the ribbon, it's not a big deal. I'm gonna just lay all these little guys along here with that liquid glue. And I like the liquid glue because that way you can slide your flower or your tulip punch, whatever this is right here, into place. And there we go. So now we have all 4. There we go. Let those dry just a little bit. I'm going to put this away. Okay, and then bring in, yay, that denim ribbon. Now we'll see if this is going to a good idea or not, because I'm going to try to tie this around the box. Although this denim ribbon is really soft and I think it ties a pretty simple knot, but yet it's going to be big enough and bold enough that I think it's going to look really good. So let's just take my box here. Oh, now I'm gonna come on, Kathy. We just want a simple knot. It shouldn't be that hard. Okay, there we go. Give me a little bit of tail here to work with. And I don't want it too tight because I don't want it to squish my box, and I'd like to be able to move it just a little bit so I can reposition it after I tie it, but I want it tight enough so it doesn't move. And now I could just take a glue dot on the back and hold that ribbon in place, but like I said, I want to be able to move it afterward, so I'm going to try to struggle and see on the camera, thank you, if I can get it tied. If not, I'll give up and put a little glue dot there. But nope. Look, now it's not the best knot that I've tied, but I think it's going to work. I think it's good enough. Let's find some paper or some ribbon snips here and just trim that down. And looky there, that denim ribbon is really cute. Now I want to slide it up to the top of my little green part of my box. Yeah, I do. For some reason, I really do like that green ribbon with that little blue. So now we need just a little bit of a greeting on there. I like the way, or I want it to say Happy Easter or something to that effect, right? So I had to go back and find Easter stamps. So the first one, like on this one here, this little Happy Easter, this is Magenta Madness and some soft succulent with that soft succulent ribbon. I took this stamp here that's in the stamp set and just cut along there. Now this one, I thought this is real red and a little bit of granny apple green with that gauze ribbon. It's in a set with the blue twine, but this one I didn't even put a greeting on there. I think it was because the red rose I think I could use for other things besides Easter. But then I went back to my paper pumpkin, clear back to the inserts that show you the stamp, but there is a little Happy Easter stamp on there, and I'm going to just take a scrap of white. Let me see if I can find one here. Here's a little scrap. And that little Happy Easter from that stamp set, I'm going to use some Night of Navy ink because I want it nice and dark. But let's see if I can get a good image. Oh, I should have used my Pierce mat. Nap. Nope. Nap. It looks just fine. And then I'm just going to take my scissors here. Let's clean up a little bit and get rid of some of this extra stuff. And I'm going to just trim that little Happy Easter. Now, hopefully, you either subscribe to Paper Pumpkin forever, or you can find a little Easter stamp, because I sure was short on Easter stamps. So that might be something I'll have to invest in. I'll have to keep an eye out for a nice little Easter stamp like this one. But then with just a couple, dimensionals, Now here, let me tell you too, and if you watch my videos, you've heard this, but when you buy the black dimensionals, you get a sheet of standard dimensionals and you get a sheet of mini dimensionals. I have so many black mini dimensionals that, so everybody that places an order with me in April, along with your thank you card, I'll send you a sheet of mini black dimensionals. But let's take this little, I know you saw I cut those little dimensionals down so they fit on the back of my tag here, and then I'm going to just slip that like that. Look at Happy Easter, how cute is that? Not bad, huh? You could probably whip out a bunch of those. I plan on making quite a few of those and hopefully getting them out to all my friends and those little people like the mailman, maybe all my Starbucks peeps. I don't know, we'll see who I send that one to. But let's move on to the next one. So the next one looks like this. This is another simple basket. If you've been around in the stamping world, you've probably seen this around 100 times. But I'm going to use those craft sheets, 6x6. Now these were in the holiday catalog or the winter mini catalog, and they're still orderable. You can still get them, thank goodness, because I think they're a little bit thicker weight than the heavy cardstock, so I think they work really good with this. And then I'm going to bring in these checks and dots embossing folders, and I'm going to use this check because we're going to make it look like a basket. Now this is on the retired list, which is a bummer, but from what I understand they're still available, so you can still get those. But let's bring in that die cut machine really quick. And now, since this is just a standard embossing folder, it's not the fancy 3D one, I'm going to use platform number 1, and then I'm going to slide my paper in here like that, lay that right there on platform number 1, and then I'm going to just put a cutting plate and a cutting plate, and you could sandwich those between, it doesn't really matter. There we go. So now I have half of my cardstock embossed, and I'm going to just turn this around and I'm going to do it again. Now it might not be perfect here. I'm sure you could take the time and line it up on the middle there, but that's going to be the middle of my box. I'm not sure we're even going to notice that, so I'm not going to really worry about it. And then I'm going to run it through again. So now we have a piece of cardstock, if I can find it here, that's all embossed and has that check on there, and it looks like a box. And really, I didn't even worry about it, and you still can't see the seam very much. So it's a very user-friendly kind of embossing folder. Okay, let's bring in our Simply Scored again, because now on this one, this is 6x6, and I'm going to score this one at 2 inches on each side, or I'm going to go to 4 because I like to score on the right hand side. So I'm going to go 4, and I'm going to press pretty hard so I can see, and so my paper will fold on that score line and not on those embossing lines. Okay, just like that. There we go. And then let's score, or I mean fold, we've already scored on those score lines. There we go. And then just like I did on the base of the other one, I'm going to cut from the end up to that score line on the score line. And this time I'm going to just try to make sure it's a nice straight cut. And I'm going to do the 2 over here. Now I should have told you too, I made sure that the seam, you know where I had the 2 embossing folders, or the 2 times through the embossing folders, is on the inside here. And I think that I've cut it the right way, and that's where I want it. Now really, right now, I would have to look hard to see where that seam is, so really I'm not worrying about it. But if it was really bad and you could see the seam, make sure the seam goes this way. I want it to go on these 2 pieces, because these 2 pieces you're going to see less of than the rest. So really, the seam should go across to these. I hope that makes sense. Like I said, I'm not even that worried about it because people aren't going to be looking for my seam. They're going to be looking how cute our little basket is. So another piece of cardstock I have here is Bumblebee, and this is 1 inch by 8.5. But like I said, all the measurements will be on my blog. So there's 2 ways you can put this basket together. You can, let me grab my stapler here. You could take these 2 corners here, put them here, put your handle in here. Do you see how I did that? So this is the inside. I fold this inside and then just brought these 2 corners together, put your handle in there, and then you just staple it and hold your handle right there. Now I want the inside of my box just to be a little bit cleaner, a little bit fancier, so I'm not going to use the stapler. I'm going to use some tear and tape. And the first thing I'm going to do is now this would be the outside of my box. I'm going to, on that little flap inside, I'm going to just put some tear and tape right here, right? And then remove that backing. That, and then I'm going to lay my handle right here, trying to get it centered close enough. It doesn't have to be perfect, I don't think, but then again, well, I keep telling myself I'm not a perfectionist. Then on these 2 pieces on the inside, I'm going to put some tear and tape here at the top. Right here. I'm trying not to stick. I should get my silicone mat out because I'm trying not to stick this piece here that has a little bit of tear and tape on either side. Now the handle's covering up most of it, but I don't want that stuck to my work surface. And if I had my silicone mat, I wouldn't have that problem, but oh well, we'll see. Let's see if I can do it without worrying about it. But now I'm going to take the tear and tape off that way. I'm going to bring this piece and kind of hold it out of the way, and I'm going to bring these 2 pieces together and line up this point up here, and then just apply a little pressure and then bring this piece up, and now all of that is stuck down, and look how clean and crisp the inside of our box looks. So let's do it to the other side now. Get these out of the way, put a little bit of tear and tape on the outside of that middle flap. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and put the tear and tape to the inside of those side flaps. And once you have it down pat, boy, it's pretty fast little box too. You just put the tear and tape on all 6 sides, and then you just tear them apart, slap them together. It goes a lot faster. But we're going to take the tear and tape cover off of this piece here. And just like before, now as I pull this piece down, I want to just kind of break those paper fibers. So between my pointer finger, I guess you call it, and my thumb, I'm going to just kind of rub that paper. I don't want to bend it. I want it to be a nice curve. And see how just that little bit makes a nice curve on my handle. And get this cover off of this one. Okay, come on. Let's try this end. There we go. Get those paper. Now I'm going to kind of hold this one out of the way, bring again those 2 points together. That makes a nice side of the box, and then just put this side against those, and now the inside of my box looks how nice and clean. And not to mention too that now both sides of that handle is stuck down. Now you couldn't lift your handle with a bunch of weight because it'll totally bend this nice curve you have in the cardstock, but it's a cute little basket like that. So now let's go ahead and I'll show you how I decorated the front. I'm going to put this out just so you can see what I'm doing. I've already die cut some pieces just to make it a little bit faster, and you know how I love, this is the hippo dies. Now these are on the retired list. The stamp set that goes with it has already sold out in English, but I believe you can still get it in French. But if you watch my videos, like I always say, I love these layering dies here, and I just took some thick Whisper White to make my tag with the medium of these, I guess you'd call them kind of round ones. And that's what I'm going to use for my tag. Now, most of my tag here, come on, get back in there. You probably won't see it, but I like these tags because they have that stitching on it. So really, if you don't want to, you probably wouldn't have to layer it, and I'm not going to. And then I have a piece here of basic white. And I'm going to bring in some Bumblebee ink and my Pierce mat. Let me see. Oh, maybe I'm not going to have my Pierce mat here. Nope, here it is. Buried. If you saw my desk right now, you'd be like, oh, brother, Kathy, where do you have any room to work? And I'd be like, right here in this little spot right here. But, okay, we're going to start. Now, remember I said when you're going to use the Tulip, you want to start at the left. So I'm going to ink this one up in that Bumblebee ink because I'll be honest with you, a yellow tulip might be one of my favorite flowers. And I want 3 of them here. 3, there we go. And then with some, I'm going to use Old Olive ink here. And that leaf that matches the coordinates with the punch, it looks like this, just like it's going to punch out with this right here. I'm going to just stamp a couple of those, and now that punch would start on the right here, so I'm going to just stamp one right here and then turn that over and stamp one right on the right side of my basic white right there. And then, oh, before I put the green away for my greeting, I'm going to just go ahead and take that happy Easter, happy spring, happy, happy everything, and just stamp that down here in the corner. There, and I have all my stamping for this basket. Let's punch all those out. Start with our little tulips here. You'll have to let me know. I think that a yellow tulip is really pretty and a red tulip. Now maybe, I know there's lots of other color of tulips out there, so what's your favorite color? But yellow has always been a huge, like it's always been my favorite color. I like that yellow. Okay, there's a little leaf. Let go of my paper, thank you very much. And then we're gonna do a leaf over here. And then I'm going to just set those aside for now. And then on this piece to get this greeting cut out, I'm going to just use my paper trimmer here and kind of lay it, using this as my guide to see where I want my paper. Just a little bit like maybe there. And then we have that little piece. Nothing fancy. I don't even know what size that is, but I think that's the easiest way to cut something like that out. So let's put our little flowers together here. Back, let me make sure I want it on this side. Okay, tape runner, come on. There we go. And I'm gonna just layer up all my little flowers here. Really, I'm going to just do 2 of them. And look, I put tape on the wrong side. So this one, oh, and I needed one more. Oh, well, this basket's only going to have 2 leaves on it, like that. Let's go ahead and I'm going to just put some adhesive on the back of these. And I'm going to set these way over here on the edge. Although there's a bunch of different ways. I'm sure that you could come up with a better way to decorate your little tag here. But then with this one, I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. And lay this one right here in the center. And just that easy. And then I think I'm going to just take my dimensionals and set them right here on my tag. And like I said, you can hardly see any of my tag, but that little stitching, the little piece that you can see of it, let me see if I can get this straight. It does make that tag. Look how cute that is. Now I'm going to use this part of the tag right here to get it straight onto my basket. I am though going to put some dimensionals right here so I know where I want it there. And then I'm going to put a dimensional right here. And I am putting them on my basket because I would hate for them to hang off the side. And my tag is pretty big, so you're going to see, I mean, there's going to be plenty of room so it won't be seen hanging out the side of my tag. But I'd hate to put them on my tag and then have them not where I need them on my basket. But like I said, I'm going to look at the top of my tag here and get that centered on my handle, and then just lay that right there. And look how pretty that is. But last thing we need is a little bit of ribbon on there. So I have some of this, what is this called? Seam binding. 1/4 inch white seam binding. Now, look, I'm almost out, but not to worry, I have another spool in the drawer because I think this is kind of ribbon that you never want to be without. If I wanted to, I could take my blends and color this any color that I wanted. It ties really nice, it's really soft, and to me it's just the right color. So this is something I just have in my craft room all the time. Let's see if look, I was able to even tie, well, not the best knot. Where did the tail go? Here it is. Or best bow, because sometimes bows on camera can be tricky. But look, I think that's going to be just fine. Look how cute that is. Let's just trim those tails. And let's see, do I want long hangy tails or do I want short cute tails? I think I want long hangy tails. Let's make this so it's on the center of my basket and then just floppy just like that. I think that looks cute, and I think that's a really cute little basket there. So that's basket number 2. Let's go to basket number 3. Again, let me show you what my first basket looks like. This. Now this is the Flowering Fields, I think that's what this is called, in the mini catalog, which I absolutely love. And I'll be honest with you, the coordinating stamp set, I thought I could live without it. And then I just ordered it not too long ago, and it hasn't come in yet, but it has a wonderful stamp set and die set that goes with it. But like I said, today we're using that little tulip. So I did cut this tag right here before, and I use these Sweetheart dies. This little tag, oh, he's stuck in my case right here. And this is just a little basic white tag. I do like him. Now I'll tell you a secret, this set and die and stamp set are not going forward. So if you want those, like I said, in the mini catalog, and I did with that Designer Series paper and Poppy Parade. But the next piece that I cut, because these are 3-inch strips, 3 inches by 11-inch strips, and now this one had more of that purple on it, so I decided I'm going to use some Blackberry Bliss with this one. So therefore, I'm going to use all of that, this Fresh Freesia ink for my stamping. And I'm going to take this little open tulip here. It's a little bit smaller than the tulip that coordinates with the punch. And I'm going to just stamp it about right there. Hold down, let that ink sink in. Don't be in a big hurry. Look how pretty that is. And then on just a piece of scrap paper, here, I'm going to stamp that bud. Now this is another stamp that's in the stamp set. Like that. And then let's see, I need to put a little sentiment on there, so I'm going to bring in some black memento ink and this little For You from the Sentimental Swirls. And now this is another stamp set that's in the mini catalog that will not be going through, so if you want that one, I suggest you get it now. That mini catalog goes through the end of June, so you still have time, but it's nice kind of for you to know which ones are going forward and which ones aren't. So with a little bit of black ink, I'm going to just stamp this For You as straight as I can. Did I get my head in the camera? I wasn't watching. Right there on the corner, look how cute that is. I do like the font of that swirls stamp set. Okay, I think that's all the stamping. You have to be patient with me real quick. I'm gonna just fussy cut this little bud out, and it doesn't take long. It's just like a little simple circle here. Ooh, I'm getting really close there too. Careful, Kathy. There we go. And then with just a little dimensional on the back of him, I'm going to add him, her, it, him to my tag right here. And look how pretty that is. But then I think it needs just a little bit of bling. And we have these in-color gems that just happen to be fresh freesia. Let me find my piercing tool, which is somewhere on my desk. It's funny because I'll go back and watch my videos and I'll be like, it's right there, but I can't find it. So let's use our pair of scissors here. Where did my take a pick tool go? Anyway, okay, but I'm going to use these little tiny ones up here. I'm going to do 3 of them. So I'm going to use a little one there, maybe a little one there. And then we have to have an odd number, so I'm going to just put a little one there too. And look how cute now our little tag just has a little bling. Except, you know what, I don't like this one here. I'm going to move that one up here. There we go. I don't know if I like it there either. I might even move it around. You know what, in fact, I'm going to take it. I know, make up your mind, Kathy. Yep, I'm going to stick it right there in the center of my O of that 4. Okay, so now we're all done stamping here. Let's go ahead and make our basket. So I have that base here. This time we're starting out with a square that is 3.5 by 3.5. And now this is the only basket that I remember who made it, and probably because she told a story about it. Oh, I guess this time I'm using my paper trimmer. That's what I grabbed. But I'm going to score this 3.5 at a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to use this measurement over here. So I'm going to score all 4 of those sides at a 1/2, and then I'll finish my story. So Jessica Irwin showed us this one. She's that pink buckaroo, and she told a story that she had a camp, and the lady was making these at her camp, or at some lady, and that's what she gave them to him. And that's the only reason why I remember who showed us how to make these. And now that was an in-person thing, so that was a long time ago. These baskets have been around, like I said, for a while. But let's go like this. And then, same thing like I did on the last 2, I'm going to just take and trim up the side on this side, or trim up twice on this side, and do the same thing on that score line up to the score line on this side. Again, we won't even see this base, so we don't have to worry about that. But then with a little bit of liquid glue here, I'm going to just take a little bit of, a lot of liquid glue. See, that is the problem with the new glue. Let's try to spread that around, share the love here, a little bit over here. And there again, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're not even going to see any of this one. This won't show at all. That there and that there. Let's do the same thing to the other side. Maybe a little less glue this time, Kathy. Nope, we like that glue today. Whoop, and then I throw it down. Okay, then this one came apart. Now, the reason, because I could just use some tear and tape on here, but these little pieces are so small, I think it's hard to get those little pieces of tear and tape, and the liquid glue works really good. Because now, let's let that set for a while there and let that dry. With that strip of designer series paper, now on the back, and here, not that I know from experience or anything, I want to make sure to put the tear and tape along the bottom. So see how the flowers are, this is the top and this is the bottom. I'm going to make sure I put that tear and tape at the bottom. Not like I put any baskets together upside down or anything like that. And no, I'm not going to show you what I did. I'm going to just let you guess. But I'm going to take a piece all the way along the bottom here, and then a little piece of tear and tape along the side. Just like that. I'm going to press that down really good. And then I wished I had my take a pick tool so I could get that. I have no idea. It's somewhere here on my desk, but I cannot find it because I'd used it, right? Didn't I use it one time already? I'm sure I did for that other basket. But you notice I'm going to take that piece of tear and tape off there. And then I'm going to start in the middle of one of the sides of the basket. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to even cover this up. But I'm going to start like this and just lay that designer series paper and pinch it when I come to the corner. So I can get a nice corner on my basket here. And then pinch it at the next corner, and I'm going to just lay that designer series paper onto my base like that. Oh boy, and this one is going to, I lay it start, oh yeah, it doesn't matter, we're going to go around this corner too. Like I said, none of these, you're not going to see any of this at the bottom. Is there not? And you know what I did? I have my tear and tape here when my tear and tape should be here. So don't do that. That is a learned lesson. We want to end with the tear and tape, and I don't think there's any down here, so I'm going to even just put my tear and tape like this. And I'll show you a little trick. So my tear and tape here at the bottom, because I couldn't get in there, hangs off the edge, but all we got to do is get that backing off. Oh, brother, don't you like my videos when I show you what not to do? That way you can learn from my mistakes. Let's get that backing off. But the good thing about tear and tape is it's such a thick adhesive, although now I can't get the back off, there we go, that I can just take that and fold that over. And then it's going to be right there at the edge, but it won't show. And then make sure that when you put your tear and tape, you start with the edge that doesn't have tear and tape on it, instead of like I did, that has the piece of tear and tape on there. There, now when we lay that down. And you don't even have to worry if your piece isn't perfect up here, we're gonna hide that edge too. So there we go. So now we have our basket look something like that. Get this nice and flat here so it looks good. There we go. It's a good start. So then with more tear and tape, now I'm going to take a piece of tear and tape and I'm going to find that edge right here is where the two papers met before, and I'm going to lay a piece of tear and tape all the way along the top here. Like this. There we go. And then I'm also going to take a piece of Blackberry Bliss. Now this is a 1/2 inch by 11, and I'm going to put a piece of tear and tape all the way along the bottom there. We'll start with the bottom. I'm going to take this piece the backing off. I really need to find my take a pick tool. There we go. And I'm going to take this now and start here in the center of the back. Now I'm going to call this the back because this is where the seam of my designer series paper is, but I'm going to just cover, and now is where I'm going to make sure that the bottom of my box looks nice. And I'm going to pinch those corners as I go. Just go along the bottom here. And look how nice and pretty the bottom of our box looks now. Pinch this here. And then I am even going to take my bone folder and just put a little pressure on the inside of my box and make sure that that tear and tape is nice and stuck to my cardstock. So look how pretty the bottom is. Now let's work on the top. I'm going to take that. Oh, I went way too far with my tear and tape. Come on in. There we go. I guess my videos are to show you what not to do rather than what to do. We're going to take this adhesive back here. And now the first thing I want to do is I want to add my handle. So this is a second piece of that Blackberry Bliss. This is also 11 inches by a 1/2 inch. And I think I'm going to just put my handle here. Here's where the two pieces meet together over here. So I'm going to stick my handle right here, just at the bottom of that tear and tape, because we don't want our handle to show above the piece we're going to put on the top. Same thing again, I'm going to use my pointer finger and my thumb just to barely give that a little bit of curl and bring that along, put it along that piece of tear and tape, like that. And then with our third piece of black back here where the back of my box is, and just add that piece of Blackberry Bliss along that piece of tear and tape, making sure now that I make the top of my box look nice. And now right here before I come to the end, I'm going to add a little piece of tear and tape right here. In fact, I have that one that was too long that I cut. That worked out nice. I'm going to take that and to the end and just trim that down. And then I'm going to trim this because I kind of tore my paper. There we go. Take that back off of the tear and tape. And then finished off my basket like that. Look how cute that little basket is. Now with all those strips of paper, once again, now this time I don't want to put my bone folder because I want the top of my basket to remain round while the bottom of my basket is square. And look how cute that is. And I do like that Blackberry Bliss with that designer series paper. I think that turned out really pretty. So let's go ahead and add our little tag here. I'm going to use this. This is the Baker's Twine, the Essential Pack, and I think this might be gray. In fact, just put a little slip through here. I just want to make a little bit of room between my knot and my cardstock so I have room to slip my ribbon through there, and then it'll hang nicely on my box. So just a little knot like that. A little bit of room. We're going to cut off those extra up here. And then with that Fresh Freezer ribbon, I think it's Fresh Freezer. Where does it say? Yes, it is. Sometimes I say the wrong words, but I'm going to slip that through that little Baker's Twine there. Give me lots of room here. Make sure that my tag is the right way, see, so it looks like that. And then I'm going to just tie a bow here. We'll see if I can tie a bow. I think I can. Give myself lots of room. And usually with my bow, I just kind of go with how the ribbon feels like it wants to go. So I don't even have a little song, you know, like the little bunny in the shoe, how you tie your shoes and stuff. I just say make your ribbon happy, but be the boss. And looky there, that's a pretty good bow. We'll trim the edge and trim that edge, and then bring that little tag around, to which now I'm going to call the front of my box right here. I'm trying to slide it down. There we go. Slide it down to the edge here and have that swing there. How cute that little basket is with that little tag. Now, if you're wondering, okay, Kathy, so you have these cute little baskets, right? What do you put in them? I did a little bit of research and I found these little baskets here hold, you know, those plastic eggs? Although when I went downstairs and looked for our plastic eggs, I have really strange ones. They're little bugs, and I don't remember getting those, but it doesn't matter. Look, these will hold about 3 little plastic eggs, which I think is a pretty good deal. Let me put the lid on my glue because I forgot to earlier. So that's a pretty big basket. This one here that I made, this one holds a couple of those eggs. Although I want to share this basket. Now you saw me, I used a 6-inch square to start with. I was at a class with Mary McCannon, who's a friend and a fellow demonstrator, and she did this basket. Now you can see that this basket's a little bigger, and I think this one was an 8.5. And I still think we scored it. I don't have a ruler here, but you'd score it the same. Maybe we scored it 3 inches on each side, but look how cute. You could make this basket any size you want. So thanks, Mary. This was a couple years ago, and Mary even got fancy and lined her designers or her cardstock with the designer series paper. So remember when this was part of the celebration, I think. So that's back when we made that one. But this one would hold a bunch of those eggs. We could probably put all of those eggs in there. Like I said, now you can't get it too heavy because the paper, you don't want your handle to bend. You just want it trimming around. So I think for my granddaughters, if I gave them this box, I'd just put a little bit of money in those eggs that's not heavy. And then that way it wouldn't mess up the top or the handle of your box. But looky there, look how cute those are. You could make them in any shape or size. Not shape, any size you want, depending on what size square you start with. And then this little box here, let me show you what research I found with these. So I have here somewhere, maybe it's with my take a pic tool, a Cadbury egg. Now a Cadbury egg almost fits in there. It's a really tight squeeze. Now if you're gonna give a box or a basket, you wanna give it full, so the Cadbury egg might work. I did try these Reese's peanut butter cup eggs, and they are too big, so I guess I'll just have to eat those. But then I came across these Ghirardellis. Now these are the little bunny ones. They're a little bit smaller. Usually they're a square, but these Easter ones come in tall and skinny. And then they also have these here because I really like the milk chocolate in the little egg. And these two candies here fit just perfect in that little tulip box. And I think that right there is what I'm gonna give to my bowling buddies. So all of my little boxes here with the little tulips, that's what I'm gonna fill them with, is this. Now, the box I showed you a long time ago, this one here has 2 little Hershey nuggets in it. So lots of stuff you could stick in those little boxes, lots of baskets you could make. Here's all my baskets today. Let me lay them down so you can see the pretty part. And here's the other one. So there you go. I hope you'll give some Easter baskets a try. And you'll have to let me know what Easter stamp set you have, since I had trouble finding an Easter stamp set in my stash. Alrighty, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Like I said, if you place an order using April's host code, here's April's host code, I'll send you a thank you card and a pack of those mini black dimensionals. Alrighty, have a great a great weekend, and I'll see you back here Monday afternoon, and I'll show you what I did with my paper pumpkin kit this month. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.